So, hello fellow geology buffs, this is Glenn back with another geology video. Well, it is a geology channel, so I'm not surprised. And on my latest excursion last Friday, I actually got some geological material. Now, I've uploaded some videos in the field, but now I'm back home and we can have a look at the actual rocks. So, what I have is the actual sedimentary rock. So, this is... Now, I do have this actual fourth rock, and this was actually used to actually pave the roads. So it's not a tar road, it's a dirt road. And these are rocks put on it to actually stop the actual trucks that actually drive along it from sliding off. So they're a bit big to actually use for car cars to actually use. You can see $1 coin. It's actually quite a large rock. And what they use for this is actually quite hard, so I have a feeling that it's a basalt. It's a bit hard to actually tell. The crystallization is actually, looks a bit larger than the actual hornfowls. So I reckon that's going to be a basalt, because that's generally what we use for road paving in Victoria, is basalt. And it's actually quite common in the Western Volcanics. Not saying it could actually be a sedimentary rock that they've just reused from the local area, or it could be the actual hornfowls itself that they've have a quarries there, but I'm not too sure, and that's going to remain a mystery. So the actual other rocks we have here, so we have this sedimentary rock, we have the hornfowls, and we have the granodiorite. So we actually have representation of all three of these different types of rock formations. So we have sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous, which are pretty much the only three types of rocks that you can find on the planet, because you can't get rocks that form in the air, or you can't get rocks that form... is there any other way you can actually form rock? Biologically you can. That's what limestone is. And the oldest of these is actually the actual sedimentary rock. So this one was laid down in the early Devonian, or they call it the lower. And this one has a date range of 470 to 393 million years old. It's a Hume-Vale formation and actually does contain fossils, although there are no fossils in this part of the actual rock. It does have crystals. It's a silt stone. Obviously, it looks like it does have some sand particles. And if we zoom in, you can see color differentiation. And it's probably most likely because of anoxia, which are the actual dark colors. And here's the other side. As you can see, he hasn't got any fossils. And here's the actual eroded part of the actual formation. So this has actually been exposed to water, rain, as well as river, also wind, and biological. So they're the actual things that actually destroy it. Oh, and chemical as well. It's non-biological aspects actually break down the actual rock. Then we have the hornfowls. So this is actually very fine grained, as you can see, and there's alteration of the actual Hume-Vale formation. So these were originally part of the same formation, but this has been changed by heat, not really pressure, because this one would have actually had the same pressure, and this actually has not been altered, but the hornfowls has been altered by heat, and that is because of the actual granodiorite that actually intruded the actual rock. So as you can see, large crystals. It probably has some inclusions from the country rock, which is this. So it probably was more like a basalt formation, and this would have actually been melted, incorporated into the actual rock, forming a granodiorite. Obviously it cooled quite slowly, so it actually has large crystals of, so we have plagioclase, looks like mica and hornblende, and we do have some quartz as well. So it's actually a bit hard to see. So the plagioclase is actually pink. Quartz will be like a greyish colour, so there's quartz there. If it reflects like that and has extinction, so there's an extinction event there, means that the reflection of light stops. So that means it has a platy type of cleavage. Is that correct? Anyway, the crystal structure is platy, so you need a certain angle to actually reflect the light. So it's biotite mica, and you have a black stuff which actually you can't see any extinction event, is a hornblende. So that's the actual 4 crystals that you can find in this, and it's different from granite in that it actually contains a lot less quartz and silicon dioxide, so it contains more of the actual minerals that can make up hornblende and pyroxene. Anyway, so let's have a look at the actual map and see where I actually went to actually find these rocks. So this is pretty much the actual way I actually went. So here we have as Toolangi. So Toolangi down here, Murrundindi is up the top. And generally you have to turn off around here off the main road, and sooner or later you get onto a gravel road. It's roughly about here. All of this is gravel up until roughly about there, then it goes into the actual main road. So most of this area here is actually the granodiorite. So I've got granodiorite there. In the south and also in the north is mainly the hornfels, so the Metamorphic Rock. And then we have where the cascades are, you also have the actual Sedimentary Rock. And just remember, you have a high elevation mountains as well here. So a lot of those high elevation mountains would not be the Metamorphic Rock, they'll actually be the Sedimentary Rock. So you do get large blocks of this Sedimentary Rock in where the actual most of the actual rock is hornfels. That would have come from higher elevations, not essentially the rock that was actually formerly there. So probably if we have a look at the actual elevation map, terrain, so we actually have a mountain range here, so the river goes along here, the cascades are around here. So it could have been on one of these peaks that actually has sedimentary rock that's been unaltered. It could have been eroded, and during a flash flood it could have actually been, whoa, go away. So it could have actually been eroded from one of these peaks here. So there. And the actual river will follow in between the actual course. So the Murrundindi River could have actually gone down somewhere like that. And so one of these peaks, I'd say it's probably a local, because it's actually quite large. These are actually probably at least 40 to 50 centimeters by 40 to 50 centimeters. They're actually quite large. So it would actually be local, because you actually need a large amount of energy to actually transport it from one of these peaks down lower. So that is where you actually can find the actual sedimentary rock. And if you go up here around this area, this is mainly just farmland, you can actually find a lot of sedimentary rock on the actual road cuttings. So if we have a look at the actual satellite, you can see the actual vegetation. So you got most of this is vegetated. I think it's part of the Alpine National Park. So we do have a lot of spots that actually are around there. And this is actually the best one to go through. These are not as, they're scenic, but this one is very beautiful to actually go through. And you also got waterfalls, and you got the cascades. So you got another waterfall up here. Got a walking tour here. You've got the large tree over here, cascades over here. So it's actually a nice place to actually go through. And also for two-wheel drive, it's actually a very good track to actually go to. It's well maintained. It's maintained because they actually logged this area. There's a lot of logging coops. You can see the actual parts that actually been logged on the actual map. So it needs to be truck friendly. So I didn't see any trucks. But anyway, that is how you actually get and see 3 types of sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous rocks all together, pretty much. So here I actually have the geological map, and basically we have Toolangi over here, just off the map. And then you've got this actual road here, so you need to drive up there. And obviously you're driving through the Hornfels, so the Metamorphic Rock. And then you drive around. You go into a little bit of the actual volcanics. So this is rhyolite, so it's extrusive rock. There are no rock formations because of the heavy vegetation. And any rock formations you do come across is pretty eroded. But generally it's covered by vegetation. And that's the Lake Mountain rhyodacite. It's ignimbrite and it's been recrystallized. Then you go around here. So you've got steep turn, also got another track going around there. So this is the actual Black Ranges granodiorite. So that's the igneous intrusion. So that's it, a big batholith, or before when it didn't solidify, a pluton. So batholith, and you got down here you actually have, this is rhyolite. So this is extrusive. So this actually is on top of the granite. So you've got granite everywhere. Then you go up here and you keep on going until you go and get out into the actual Hornfels again. So you can see you got some DUD. So some, what is the actual DUD? That is the actual intrusive felsic dike. So you got another one here. So you got felsic dike there. And I actually found some of this sedimentary rock roughly about here. So I reckon some of the mountain peaks are actually being capped in the actual Hume Silt Stone because it actually has a higher elevation. That's basically it. But I don't think a lot of these mountain peaks have actually been tested for actually rock formations because they're actually pretty hard to actually access. A lot of them don't have tracks on them anyway. And then you go up here, you go up the Hornfels, and here we actually have the actual Hume Silt Stone. So what's the age range? So the actual Silt Stone's 407 to 393 million years old. I actually haven't gotten specific date because I actually haven't looked it up. Then you got the Hornfels, roughly about 272 million years old, same age as the actual intrusive granite because it granodiorite altered the Hume Silt Stone to Hornfels. Then you have these DUDs, they're roughly about the same age, but I think they actually are classed a bit younger, so probably 260 roughly million years old. Then you got the Lake Mountain rhyodacite 282, so this is actually a bit older. So you got oldest, second, and third. So it's basically the date range for those type of rocks. And that is basically what you can actually find when you actually travel around Victoria. Not only do you actually see nice sights, you actually see nice geology as well. So if you have a look up close to the actual rhyodacite, not rhyodacite, granodiorite, I keep on getting confused with those two. So you've got some nice beautiful crystals. So hornblende, biotite, then you have plagioclase and quartz. So you only get large crystals you can actually identify. There's actually more crystals in here of different minerals, but they're actually a bit hard to see. And so I'm not actually sure what exactly the total composition of this igneous rock is. Let's have a look at the actual hornblende up close. You can see you can't actually tell any crystals. It just looks like sand that's actually been welded together. But obviously the chemical composition, or should I say the mineral composition, actually has been changed. Chemical composition, same thing, everything's a chemical. And then we have the actual original rock before it's actually, and as you can see, it's a silt stone, so made out of silt, so very fine. And what the actual silt stone is made of, I'm not too sure. Obviously sedimentary rock is made out of rock that was actually formed previously. It could be igneous rock, it could be another sedimentary rock, it could be another metamorphic rock. I am not too sure, I need to read up on it. And so that is what you can find when you travel in the actual Black Ranges. So anyway, I hope this was informative and it helps you with your geological learning. So every time you go to a new place, just check out the geology. It's very, very interesting. Anyway, thank you very much and goodbye.